Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here today with more Toonami related news. Now, the big news that I'm just going to open up with is the fact that at the Ansi Festival this week, Toonami announced not one, but two more seasons of Ninja Kamui. Now, this announcement came to a very mixed response. Of course, you had the fans that are really excited, but again, you had a lot of people. And the general consensus, not my consensus, because if you've watched my videos, you know exactly what my opinions on Ninja Kamui are. But the general consensus was that the show started to fade towards the end, and a lot of people were genuinely surprised about this announcement. And many people, they really didn't want more Ninja Kamui. They thought it was like a nice one season deal. So that's something that we're going to get more of soon. And again, it's more proof that Warner Brothers Discovery really gave the longest possible straw to Toonami. Like I said, the worst thing that happened to Toonami is three shows, two of which were absolutely never getting another season, getting written off for tax purposes. You got off scot-free, relative speaking. Like I said, TNT and TBS in particular got absolutely gutted. To the point where American Dad, starting next year, is going to be back on Fox. That's not even going to be a TBS show anymore, you know? And yeah, and Toonami gets his big announcement. This original is going to have up to 3 full seasons now. And also, that kind of continues a little weird trend with multiple seasons being approved at the same time for Adult Swim shows. Because if you recall, years ago, you got the announcement that Rick and Morty was going to be renewed all the way through 100 episodes. I think we're still it's like a season and a half or 2 seasons away from fulfilling that, even though that was like 6, 7 years ago that deal was signed. And of course, if you've been paying attention to other Adult Swim news, earlier this week it was announced that Smiling Friends has been renewed all the way through season 5. So there'll be at least 3 more seasons of Smiling Friends, which I think has actually overtaken Rick and Morty as being like the flagship show of Adult Swim. But enough about that, more about Toonami. So we got some other news, by the way, about Toonami related stuff, and that is we've gotten a little more clarification on the schedule. If you, as you know, Dragon Ball Daima will debut as of me making this tomorrow, Saturday the 14th, and it's going to take up a 45-minute time slot. And we have clarification for weeks afterwards that starting the week after the 21st, it's just going to be a 30-minute time slot, and the schedule will essentially be just normal. Like on every show will start at the top of the hour or right at the middle of the hour, you know. And also, we got a marathon announcement on July 5th because of the release of the new Superman movie. We have My Adventures of Superman. I believe season 2 marathon will be airing that Saturday, July 5th on Toonami. And again, since they have the rights to air it, and the fact that it actually rates fairly well on Toonami, it's not really that much surprise. And considering it's July 4th weekend, people really aren't going to be it's not a big week for Toonami historically. They're like, okay, let's throw a marathon here, and Superman's fitting. Let's do that. I understand the logic behind that decision. And there's another piece of news that, I kind of wanted to make a video on, but at the same time, I wanted for the dust to settle a bit. And that is the announcement that Warner Brothers Discovery is going to really split into two different companies. And from how it appears now, Adult Swim slash Toonami is going to be on the side of the new company that has really more of the sports deals. So if you've watched that, they have the NHL on TNT, and they have now tennis on TNT, like the Grand Slams are on TNT, and the stuff that actually the production studios, so like Cartoon Network Studios is going to be on the opposite company from Cartoon Network. And although this hasn't been confirmed, there is a general belief that William Street, which effectively is Adult Swim, the studio that makes all these different Adult Swim shows, is going to be in the other company from Adult Swim. Although I don't think this will really have that much impact on Toonami, it's something to keep in mind in case, we do or don't get certain show announcements in the future. Although I actually think that Toonami slash Adult Swim ended up on the good side of the split because sports get money. Sports deals make a lot of money. They print money. And if you are on the side that gets these sports deals, like I said, the NHL on TNT, getting the French Open, and I believe Wimbledon will also be on TNT as well. you're gonna be on the side that's flush with cash. You might get more good show announcements. But again, I didn't want to make that much a deal about it because we don't have everything carved out in stone yet. But again, to sum up all parts, Ninja Kamui Season 2, Season 3 will be happening on Toonami. Schedule will be normal time schedule with Daima still the second show in the block starting the 21st, as anyone would really expect. And we have a My Adventures with Superman, like it's Pokemon, Superman Adventure, My Adventures with Superman Season 2 Marathon on July 5th. So, what do you guys think about these different little pieces of news? I'm Super Orange Cat, and that is all.